The rain wasn't supposed to come that night. Neither was the kiss. But both did. And neither left things the same. It was supposed to be a chill Friday night at Logan's house. Just the two of us. A couple of horror movies, leftover pizza, and the quiet comfort we'd always found in each other's company. I'd known Logan since 5th grade. He was the kind of best friend who knew when to talk and when to shut up, who remembered the way I took my coffee, who could guess my mood just by how I opened my locker. And he was also very much straight, or so I thought, which made the kiss impossible. Or at least, that's what I kept telling myself. We were sitting on his bedroom floor, our backs against his bed frame, the TV casting flickering light across the walls. Outside, the rain had started to pour harder, drumming softly against the windows. We weren't even watching the movie anymore. The credits had rolled 20 minutes ago, but neither of us moved. I don't get why people always die when they split up, Logan said suddenly, his voice soft in the dimness. In horror movies? Yeah, like, do they not have basic survival instincts? I smirked. You'd totally die first. You're the one who always says, I'll be right back. He laughed, a short, easy sound. I'm not that dumb. You're a little dumb, I teased, nudging his shoulder. He turned to me, still smiling, but quieter now. There was something in his eyes I couldn't name. And then it happened. He leaned in, slowly, carefully, like he was giving me time to pull away. But I didn't, because I couldn't. His lips touched mine, soft, unsure, but real. And for a second, the world just paused. No rain, no movie sounds, no best friend boundaries. Just warmth, and truth, and confusion. When he pulled back, he looked terrified. I'm sorry, he said immediately, his voice barely more than a whisper. I don't know why I did that. My heart was racing. Logan. Forget it, he said, standing abruptly. I shouldn't have. I didn't mean just forget it. I watched him cross the room, his shoulders hunched like he expected me to start yelling, or laughing, or run. But I didn't, because I wasn't angry. I was just scared, not of what had happened, but of what it might mean. I didn't sleep that night. The kiss replayed in my head like a movie scene stuck on loop, every detail etched into memory. The way his hand brushed mine, the slight tremble in his breath, the raw honesty in his eyes. Logan had always been the safe place, the friend who never crossed lines. And yet, tonight he did. And part of me wanted to cross with him. The next morning, I got a text from him. Logan, can we not talk about last night? No hello, no joke, just that. I stared at the screen for a long time before typing back. Me, sure. But my chest hurt the moment I sent it, because I didn't want to pretend it never happened. The following week at school was weird, not explosive, not dramatic, just off. He still sat with me at lunch, still walked with me to class. But everything was edged in caution. He didn't meet my eyes as often, didn't laugh as loud, and he never brought up the kiss. I didn't either, but it sat between us like a third person, a quiet witness neither of us could ignore. It was Wednesday when things started to shift again. We were in the art room during free period. Logan was sketching absent-mindedly while I colored in a project for Ms. Kim. He was good, better than he let on, but he never finished anything. I heard Caleb's back, he said suddenly. I looked up. Caleb? The senior who moved last year? Yeah, he's transferring back for the last semester. Weird, right? I nodded, unsure where this was going. Logan tapped his pencil against the desk. You used to hang out with him, didn't you? Not really. Just a few times through debate club. Logan was quiet for a moment, then almost too casually, he's gay, right? The question landed heavily in the room. I met his eyes. Yeah. Why? He shrugged. No reason. Just wondering. I didn't press him, but something about the way he said it didn't sit right. It wasn't judgmental. It was tense, protective, like he was bracing for something he hadn't said out loud yet. That night, I went through my camera roll. I found a photo from the night of the kiss. Not of us kissing, obviously, Just wanted Logan to sleep on the floor, head tilted back, mouth slightly open, hoodie sleeves pulled over his hands like he always did when he was anxious. He looked peaceful, soft, and I realized I'd loved him longer than I'd admitted to myself. The difference was he'd finally admitted something too, but now he was trying to bury it again. And I didn't know how to dig him out without losing him completely. Friday came with another twist. Logan skipped school. No text. No excuse. And then I got a message from Caleb. Caleb, hey, you got a sec? I hadn't spoken to him in over a year, but something told me this wasn't random. We met outside the library after last period. He looked tired, older somehow, like life had aged him fast. You and Logan are close, right? He asked. I nodded. Yeah. Why? He hesitated. Because I think he's going through something he doesn't know how to name. I stared at him, stunned. Did he say something to you? I asked. Caleb looked away. No, but I've seen that look before. The push and pull. The panic. Panic. He nodded. When you feel something real, but the world told you shouldn't. My heart thudded hard. Why are you telling me this? Because someone should have said something when it was me. That night, I went to Logan's house. His mom said he was in his room, hadn't come down for dinner. I knocked once before entering. He was lying on his bed, hoodie up, music low. He sat up when he saw me. Hey, you okay? I asked. He nodded, but it was a lie. I talked to Caleb, I said gently. His eyes widened slightly. Why? He's worried about you. Logan looked away. I'm worried too, I added. Silence. And then, finally, he spoke. I didn't mean to kiss you. I waited, but I wanted to. He looked up, eyes glossy. I've been trying not to feel it for a long time. I kept thinking if I ignored it, it'd go away, but it didn't. Logan, he stood up, pacing the room. I don't know who I am, okay? I don't know what this makes me. I just know that when I kissed you, I didn't regret it. I regretted stopping. My breath caught. I was scared, he admitted. I still am, but I can't pretend anymore. He looked at me, raw and open. I think I'm in love with you. And just like that, the world shifted again. Not with a kiss this time, but with the truth. If this story touched your heart, wait till you hear what's coming next. But listen, I've been hiding something. There's a secret I've never shared before. Something painful. Something that changed everything for me. And I'm finally ready to tell it. But only if you help me hit 1,000 subscribers. So please, subscribe, like this video, share with your friends, and drop a comment if there's a special topic or story you want to talk about. I read every single one. Once we reach that milestone, I'll reveal the secret that changed my life. No filters, no holding back. Trust me, you want to hear it. He said it like it broke something inside him to speak the words aloud. I think I'm in love with you. Not I love you. Not I always have. Just I think. Like he still wasn't sure whether what he felt was love or just the first time he'd ever let himself feel anything like it. The rain outside Logan's bedroom had slowed to a whisper, but inside everything was loud. My heartbeat, his breathing, the 100 thoughts crashing into each other in my head. I stood in the center of his room, still soaked from the run over, unsure whether I should hug him, kiss him, or give him space to keep unraveling. He looked down, avoiding my gaze. I didn't plan it. The kiss, that night. I don't even know what came over me. I was just looking at you, and suddenly I couldn't hold it in any more. Why didn't you tell me? I asked. He gave a sad smile. Because the last time I told someone I might like guys, I lost everything. My stomach dropped. Wait, what do you mean? Logan walked over to his desk and opened the top drawer. He pulled out a folded piece of paper, worn and creased like he'd read it 100 times. He held it out to me, eyes serious. This is why I can't just be open. I unfolded it. It wasn't a letter. It was a printed report. Disciplinary action report. Cedar Hill Prep. Student Logan W. Hayes. Incident. Alleged inappropriate behavior involving a teammate. Status. Parent-initiated transfer approved. I stared at it. You got kicked out of your old school? I asked, shocked. He nodded. I tried to come out. I told one guy. Thought he was my friend. He told the coach I hit on him in the locker room. What? I said, stunned. I didn't, he said firmly. We never even. Nothing happened. I just told him I liked someone. I didn't even say him. But the rumor spread fast, and the school didn't care if it was true. I sat down on his bed, silent. My parents freaked. Not because they were mad I might be gay, but because they were scared. They pulled me out and sent me here. Told everyone it was about academics. So all this time, I said slowly, you were hiding that from everyone? He gave a half laugh, even from myself. The next few days at school were quiet, but not in a peaceful way. Logan and I didn't talk much in public. Not because we didn't want to, but because it was still too new, too raw. But there was something different now. We weren't avoiding the kiss anymore. We were trying to figure out what it meant. And for the first time, I noticed how often his hand brushed mine, how his eyes lingered when I wasn't looking, how his smile softened in a way it never had before. Something had shifted, but not everyone was blind to it. Caleb cornered me after third period on Wednesday. Hey, he said, pulling me aside near the vending machines. What's up? I asked. You and Logan, he said. It's real. I hesitated. We're figuring things out, I said honestly. He nodded slowly, then glanced around before adding, be careful. Careful? Someone's watching. I frowned. What are you talking about? He looked uncomfortable. Yesterday, I saw Brent standing by the art room after school. You weren't there, but Logan was. Brent had his phone out. My stomach flipped. What was he doing? I don't know, Caleb said. But he wasn't just scrolling. Brent had always been trouble, loud, arrogant. The kind of guy who smiled too wide when he was about to ruin something. He made offhand jokes before. Called Logan soft. Teased him about always hanging out with me instead of joining football tryouts. But I'd never seen him as dangerous. Now I wasn't so sure. I brought it up with Logan that night. Caleb said Brent was taking photos of you near the art room. Logan looked surprised. Seriously? I nodded. You didn't notice? No. I left right after picking up my sketchbook. Why would he be taking pictures? I don't know, but if he's trying to out you or start rumors. Logan exhaled sharply. He's not the first, but I won't let him be the last either. I stared at him. You're not thinking of confronting him? Not yet, he said. But if he tries something, this time I'm not running. Friday came with chill in the air and a rumor on everyone's lips. It started small, whispers in the hallway, glances between lockers. By second period, someone had posted a poll on an anonymous student app. Do you think Logan's into guys? Thumbs up, yes. Thumbs down, no. Grimacing face, who cares? It had over 200 votes in less than an hour. I found Logan leaning against a vending machine in the science wing. He looked calm. Too calm. You saw it. I asked. He nodded. Yeah. Are you okay? He shrugged. Not really. But it doesn't surprise me. My fists clenched. I want to find who posted it. Logan reached out and touched my arm lightly. Don't. That's exactly what they want. So we just let them drag your name through the mud? No, he said. We control the narrative. I looked at him, confused. What do you mean? Logan took a deep breath. Let's stop hiding. That afternoon, we walked out together, side by side, step for step. He didn't hold my hand, but he didn't move away when our shoulders brushed. And when Brent passed us by the water fountain, smirking, Logan stopped. Something you want to say? Logan asked. Brent raised a brow. You tell me. You took a picture of me the other day, Logan said. Why? Brent smirked wider, just admiring the view. My blood boiled. You've got a problem, man. No, Brent said. You've got the problem. I'm just waiting for it to explode. Logan stared him down. Calm, measured. Then, keep watching. We walked away after that, hearts pounding, but backs unbroken. Later that night, Logan called me. I meant what I said, he told me. I'm tired of being someone I'm not. Tired of hiding behind straight jokes and pretending girls interest me when they don't. You're ready? I asked softly. He exhaled. Not for everything. But for you? Yeah, I'm ready for that. And then, for the first time since that kiss, I kissed him back. Not in the shadows. Not in fear. But in quiet, certain joy. But just as everything was starting to bloom, a text came in from an unknown number. Thought you'd like to see what your boyfriend's been up to. Attached, a photo of Logan and Caleb, hugging, tightly, outside the back of the library. Time-stamped just hours ago. The photo sat on my screen like a knife I wasn't ready to pick up. Logan, Caleb, a hug, tight, private, and painfully recent. The timestamp read 4:36 p.m. just hours ago, right after school, just before he texted me saying he was heading home early. So, why was he with Caleb? I stared at the photo longer than I should have. My thoughts swirled with everything we'd been building. Every inch of trust, every fragile word we dared to say out loud. And now this? A picture, a hug, a lie, maybe? I didn't text him, didn't confront him, didn't even reply to the anonymous number that sent it. Instead, I did what I always did when I didn't know how to process something. I went for a walk. The sky was bruised with dusk. Streetlights hadn't come on yet, and the late winter chill bit at my fingers as I walked without a jacket. My mind ran in loops. Maybe it was innocent. Maybe Caleb was just a friend. Maybe I was overthinking everything because I'd finally let my guard down, and now I didn't know what to do with that vulnerability. But still, Logan had said he was going home. Why lie? And why was Caleb even hugging him that way? By the time I got back to my street, my phone buzzed. It was Logan. Logan, you okay? Haven't heard from you tonight. I stared at the message, heart pounding. My thumbs hovered. Then I typed, Me, did you hang out with Caleb after school? It took him a minute to respond. Logan, yeah, for like 5 minutes. Why? Me, you told me you were going home early. Logan, He caught me by the parking lot. Me, did anything happen? No response. Then, Logan, no. Why are you asking like that? I took a breath. Me, I got a photo. 3 dots. They blinked, paused, came back. Then, Logan, from who? Me, I don't know. No name. Just a photo. Logan, what did it show? Me, you and Caleb, hugging, outside the library. Long pause. Logan, okay, yeah, he hugged me. I didn't ask for it. It just happened. I felt the sting settle deeper. Me, why didn't you tell me? Logan, because it meant nothing. Me, then why did it hurt so much to see? We didn't talk the rest of the night. No calls, no apologies, just silence. The kind that drags its nails down your chest and whispers, see? This is why you don't open up. I knew Logan was new to all of this, unsure, still figuring himself out. But I wasn't just his safety net. I was falling, for him, harder than I ever admitted. The next day at school, he didn't wait for me at the gate like he usually did. We sat apart in English, didn't speak during lunch. I caught him glancing my way a few times. But I didn't give in. I was tired of pretending things were fine just because he was scared of making mistakes. I needed truth now, not closeness without clarity, not affection without action. By 4th period, Caleb found me. Hey, he said carefully. I didn't want to be rude, but I wasn't about to pretend I didn't know what I saw. What do you want? I asked. He hesitated. Look, I know you saw the photo. I stared at him. So, you knew someone took it? He sighed. No, I figured you must have. Logan told me what happened. So what was it? I asked. Just an innocent hug? Yes, he said, but also more. My heart twisted. He saw the panic in my eyes. Not like that, he added quickly. More like, he needed to let something out, and I was the only one who understood. Understood what? That feeling of being caught between what you want and what people expect from you. I didn't speak. Logan wasn't making moves on me, Caleb said. He was scared. I hugged him. That's all. I wanted to believe him, but something inside me still burned. That evening, Logan came to my house, uninvited, hoodie on, eyes tired. My mom let him in without asking questions. She always liked him, called him the calm to your storm. I met him at the bottom of the stairs. "Hey," he said softly. I didn't answer right away. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a printed photo, the same photo I'd received. Logan and Caleb, hugging. "I found this taped to my locker this morning," he said. No note, no name. My blood ran cold. "Someone's trying to mess with us," he continued. "It's not just about you and me. It's about making sure I never get comfortable being who I am." He looked at me then, eyes raw, like he hadn't slept. I know I screwed up, not because I hugged Caleb, but because I didn't think how that would look to you. I wasn't trying to hide it. I just didn't want to explain myself again. "You don't have to explain a hug," I said quietly. "You just have to be honest about what you feel." He nodded. "I am now." I stepped back slightly, studying him. He didn't flinch. "What do you feel?" I asked. He swallowed, terrified, but also like I'd rather be terrified with you than safe without you. I stared at him for a long moment. Then slowly, I nodded, because that was the most honest thing either of us had said all week. But the photo wasn't the end. The next morning, a flyer appeared on the school bulletin board. A printout, black and white. Same picture, same timestamp, but with 3 words typed in bold red across it. Lovers in hiding. The flyer was pinned right at eye level, center bulletin board, between the notices for prom planning and the SAT sign-up sheet. It didn't scream. It didn't threaten. It didn't have to. Just one grainy photo and 3 bold red words. Lovers in hiding. No names. No insults. Just implication and silence sharp enough to cut. By the time I got to school that morning, half the hallway had already seen it. Some laughed. Others whispered. And a few stared at me like I was a stranger in my own skin. It felt like my heart had been stapled to that board. I stood frozen in front of it, my bag slipping from my shoulder. Some part of me kept hoping maybe it wasn't the same photo. Maybe someone edited it. Or maybe it was just 2 random students. Anyone but us. But I knew better. I knew my hoodie. I knew Logan's posture. I knew the pain behind the quiet way we held space for each other in that frame. Then I heard it. A voice behind me. Damn. Closet doors really don't lock like they used to. It was Brent. Of course it was Brent. Leaning against a locker with his usual smug expression, arms crossed like he was watching a show he helped direct. I turned slowly, my jaw clenched. "You think this is funny?" He smirked. "I think honesty's refreshing." "Don't you?" Logan appeared before I could answer. He stepped between us, so fast it startled Brent into silence. "Take it down," Logan said. Brent raised a brow. "Why? Too real for you." Logan didn't blink. "You don't scare me. You never did." That got some attention. A few students looked up from their lockers. Some even stopped walking. Brent chuckled. "Relax, Romeo. It's just a picture. If it's not true, who cares?" "Because I am gay," Logan said, loud and clear, and the hallway froze. Dead silence. Not the whispery, gossipy kind. The kind that holds its breath. "I kissed him," Logan added, pointing back to me. "And I'd do it again." I stared at him, hard in my throat, because I hadn't expected it. Not like this. Not so raw. Not so public. But he didn't back down. He turned to me, his voice softer now. "I'm tired of letting people like him decide how we feel about ourselves." I blinked rapidly, fighting the burn in my eyes. And then someone started clapping. One person. Then another. Emily Chen from the film club stepped forward. "About time." Others joined in. Not a stadium roar, not a cheesy slow clap. Just students. Real, awkward, stunned kids. Clapping for courage. Brent scowled and stormed off. And for the first time in weeks, It felt like we had more than just each other. We had witnesses. Later that day, the principal made a brief announcement over the intercom, a reminder that personal boundaries, identity-based harassment, and public defamation will not be tolerated. Respect starts with silence and grows with listening. It was vague, but it was something. Ms. James from the art department stopped me in the hallway. "I saw the flyer," she said, "and I saw what Logan did." "Yeah," I asked cautiously. She smiled. "You've got more allies than you think." She slipped something into my hand, a small white envelope. Inside was a flyer design, hand-drawn, watercolored, 2 silhouettes standing under a tree, one handing the other a flower. Behind them, dozens of shadowy figures watching, but none holding weapons, only lanterns. At the bottom, a single line, "Let them be seen." That afternoon, Logan and I sat under the bleachers behind the track field, the only place no one ever checked unless they were sneaking snacks or making out. He was quiet, fidgeting with a blade of grass. "Do you regret saying it?" I asked. He shook his head. "No, but I'm terrified." "Of what?" He looked up. "Of what comes next. Of not knowing how to be this person all the time. I was barely holding it together before. Now it's all out in the open." "You were brave." "I was angry," he corrected. "But maybe I needed to be." I nodded. "You saved me from having to say it first." I admitted. I've never said out loud either. We were quiet for a while. Then Logan turned to me. "I'm not good at this," he said. "I don't know how to be a boyfriend. Or even a good friend sometimes." "You're trying," I said. "Does that count for something?" "It counts for everything." He leaned his head on my shoulder, and we stayed there while the late afternoon sun dipped lower and turned everything gold. But peace was never the final act. Not in our story. Later that night, Logan sent me a screenshot, a direct message from an anonymous account. "Nice speech. Want to see the video?" Attached. A preview still for what looked like hallway security footage. Of us. Not the hug. Not the confrontation. The kiss. The one from weeks ago. The one that happened in his bedroom. How is that possible? I messaged him, panic setting in. We weren't even at school. He didn't answer right away. Then finally, "Logan." We were by the window. I didn't close the blinds. If someone had a camera outside, my blood ran cold. "Me, that's stalking." "Logan, it's blackmail." "Me, what do they want?" "Logan, they haven't said yet." "Me, we have to tell someone." He sent back just 3 words. "I know who." I read Logan's message over and over again. "I know who." My fingers hovered above my screen, half afraid to ask. Because if he really knew who sent the photo, the flyer, and now this video clip, it meant we weren't just dealing with some bored, immature student. We were being targeted. Logan didn't say much after that. Just told me to meet him the next morning before school. "Behind the gym," he wrote. "Come alone." I barely slept that night. Not because I was scared. Because I was angry. Not just at whoever was doing this, but at myself. For letting it all happen in silence. For being so cautious with our love, while someone else handled it like a weapon. The sky was still gray with morning fog when I found Logan behind the gym. He was pacing. Hoodie up, hands stuffed in his pockets, and eyes that looked like they'd been fighting sleep all night, too. "You came," he said. "Of course I did," I replied. "You okay?" He gave a dry laugh. "Define okay." "Who is it, Logan?" He exhaled sharply, then finally said the name. "Eli." I blinked. "Eli Morgan?" He nodded. I felt my stomach twist. Eli was a junior, like us, tall, quiet, the kind of kid who slipped under the radar. He never really spoke in class unless called on, and even then, barely above a whisper. "Wait, what does Eli have to do with any of this?" Logan leaned back against the gym wall and stared off into the distance. When I left my old school, it wasn't just because of that one guy spreading rumors. There was another person involved, someone who took it even further. He looked at me, eyes full of something between shame and fury. Eli went to my old school, too. He was the one who filmed me back then. I froze. You mean? Yeah, Logan said. When the rumors started, when I was at my lowest, he followed me. I didn't even know at first. Then one day, a video of me crying in the locker room ended up on some burner account. My throat tightened. Jesus. My parents found out. Not from me. From someone who forwarded them the video. They transferred me that same week. So Eli's been here this whole time? He nodded. Switched schools mid-year, just like me, but he never looked at me. Never said a word. I thought maybe he'd finally let it go. But he didn't. Nope. My voice shook as I asked, why would he do that? What does he get from hurting you? Logan looked down at the ground. I think he hated that I wasn't shamed. I stared at him. But you were hiding. I was hiding from the world, he said, not from myself. That hit me, because for the first time, I understood the difference. Logan wasn't trying to erase who he was. He was just trying to survive it. That day at school, we didn't sit through classes like normal. Instead, we went straight to the counselor's office. Ms. Harmon, tall and kind with sharp eyes, listened to Logan's story without interrupting. When he pulled up the anonymous messages and the video still, she didn't flinch. We'll escalate this, she said calmly. But I need you to be sure. If this goes formal, and it's Eli, it won't just affect his school life. Logan didn't hesitate. He's already affected mine. Ms. Harmon nodded. Then she said something that changed everything. We've had complaints before. I leaned in. From who? She didn't give names. Just said this wasn't the first time Eli had made someone feel unsafe. But this is the first time we have a witness with a history, she added, giving Logan a meaningful look. It makes all the difference. After we left her office, Logan looked like he'd exhaled for the first time in weeks. You okay? I asked. He shook his head. But I'm getting okay. And for the first time in days, I smiled. But of course, the story didn't end there. The next morning, as we walked into school together, hand in hand this time, Eli was waiting at Logan's locker. He was holding a manila envelope and a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. Morning, he said casually. Logan stiffened. What do you want? I asked, stepping between them. Eli shrugged, just returning some old memories. He shoved the envelope into Logan's chest and walked away. Inside were printouts of texts, photos, even a scan of the original disciplinary report from Logan's old school. I don't know how he got this, Logan whispered. I could feel his panic rising. He's trying to make sure no one forgets who I used to be. I took the envelope from his shaking hands. No, I said. He's trying to control who you're allowed to become. We went back to Ms. Harmon that day and handed over the envelope. She promised she'd act quickly. And for once, it felt like the system was actually on our side. But damage as a way of echoing, even when truth is louder. That afternoon, someone posted on the student forum again. Same burner account, same tone, but this time just 5 words. Some stories don't get happy endings. That night, Logan came over. He sat on my bed in silence, staring at the floor. Do you think that's true? He asked quietly. That people like us don't get happy endings? I sat beside him, slid my hand into his. I think happy endings don't come from people like Eli. They come from people who fight for them. He looked at me, eyes rimmed with fatigue. Then what do? We fight. And I meant it, not with fists, not with rumors, but with truth. For once, Logan wasn't the one shaking. I was, because seeing him hold that manila envelope, like it weighed more than it should, made everything feel suddenly too real. He had trusted the system. He had spoken up. But now we had proof the past wasn't done with him. Eli had made sure of that. But he wasn't alone anymore. This time, neither of us was. After we handed the envelope to Ms. Harmon, the school launched an investigation. Eli was called in. So were his parents. They tried to downplay it. Of course. Just miscommunication, his mom said. Just teenage stuff, his dad offered. But this wasn't teenage stuff. It was targeted, calculated, relentless. What shocked me most, though, was how calm Logan stayed through it all. Not numb, not withdrawn, just steady, like he'd finally figured out something I hadn't yet. "You okay?" I asked him later in the cafeteria. He stirred his chocolate milk without looking up. "You ever get tired of being scared?" "All the time." He finally looked at me. "I think I'm past it." That weekend, we did something bold. We recorded a video. Not for TikTok, not for clout. For us. We sat side by side on the edge of my bed. A simple background, no filters. Just raw honesty. Logan spoke first. "Hi, I'm Logan, and I'm gay." That's not news to some people anymore. But it's taken me a long time to say that without shame. I followed. "I'm not here to argue. I'm not here to defend love. I'm here because someone thought they could weaponize a kiss. A moment, a feeling." We both paused, then Logan added, "And to whoever's watching this, hoping we'll hide again, we won't." We uploaded it privately. No hashtags, no links. Just send it to a few trusted people. And let the ripples start naturally. By Monday, the video had made its way around school. Not viral, but visible. A few people smiled at us in the halls. Some avoided eye contact. And then there were the brave ones. Sophia from the bait club fist-bumped Logan and said, "Took guts, man." Mason from chemistry slid me a note in class that just read, "You made me feel less alone today." Even Coach Reynolds, gruff and usually indifferent, nodded when we passed by and said, "Good work handling things like men." It wasn't revolution, but it was movement. Then came the message that changed everything. Logan's old phone number, the one still linked to his Instagram DMs, pinged at 2:14 a.m. From unknown, "This is Jordan, from Cedar Hill. I saw the video. We need to talk. I think Eli's planning something worse." Logan sat bolt upright when he read it. He hadn't heard from Jordan since transferring. Back then, Jordan had been the only friend who believed Logan when the rumors first started. But after Logan left, they'd lost touch completely. Now, out of nowhere, he was reaching out. "You sure it's him?" I asked. Logan nodded. He used to call me Sketch because I was always drawing. No one else called me that. What did he mean by something worse? "I don't know," Logan said, "but we're going to find out." They agreed to a video call after school. Jordan's face popped up on screen, older, with faint stubble and sad eyes that looked like they hadn't seen peace in a while. "Hey," he said. "Sketch." Logan smiled softly. "Didn't think you'd remember." "I never forgot," Jordan said. Then he looked serious. "Listen, I don't have long. Eli's been keeping tabs on you since you transferred. He talks about it in the group chat sometimes, like you were this traitor who got away." I leaned in. "You mean like stalking?" "Not legally, but emotionally. Yeah." He always made it sound like Logan owed him something, like his whole personality changed after you left. "Why now?" Logan asked. "Why escalate?" Jordan sighed. "Because someone else's secret got out last week. Another guy at Cedar Hill. They think it's connected to you. Eli's spiraling." "What does that have to do with us?" I asked. "Everything," Jordan said. "Because he blames Logan for making people feel brave." Logan rubbed his temples. "He doesn't want to expose me. He wants to silence me." "Exactly." Then Jordan leaned in closer to the screen. "He's not working alone anymore." That made my blood run cold. "Who?" Logan asked. But Jordan's screen started glitching. "Sketch, listen. Someone from your past. Just be careful." And then it froze. Call dropped. Logan stared at the blank screen, like it had just swallowed the truth whole. We didn't sleep that night. Too many thoughts. Too many shadows from Logan's past clawing their way into the present. And that question kept circling like a vulture overhead. Who else is involved? The next morning, Logan skipped first period and went straight to Ms. Harmon. He told her everything. Jordan's warning to call, the threats. She promised to take it higher. School board. Possibly police. But then she asked a question that made Logan hesitate. "Is there anything else from Cedar Hill that might resurface?" He went quiet. And that's when I knew. There was something he hadn't told me yet. Later, in the courtyard, I finally asked him, "What is it?" He didn't meet my eyes. Back at Cedar Hill, there was someone else. I waited. We never dated. We never kissed. But he liked me. A lot. And I didn't handle it well. I was scared. I pushed him away. He didn't take it well. Who? Logan looked down. His name was Jamie. My heart sank. Do you think he's the one helping Eli? I don't know, he said. But if he is, this could get worse before it gets better. Jamie. Just the name made Logan flinch. He didn't say it with bitterness. He said it like it burned. Like say it out loud brought back memories he'd spent months burying. We were sitting on my bed, quiet except for the soft hum of my fan. I never told you everything that happened at Cedar Hill. He began, voice low, like it might shatter if he spoke too loud. You told me the basics. I said carefully, rumors, the locker room thing. Eli. Logan shook his head. That was just the surface. Flashback. 1 year ago. Logan, 2 months into his sophomore year at Cedar Hill Prep, struggling with feelings he didn't yet have a name for. He met Jamie in art class. Jamie was smart, soft-spoken, always sketching things no one else noticed, like how light bent through raindrops on windows or the creases in his teacher's forehead when she frowned. They talked sometimes, shared supplies, sat side by side, quietly comfortable. Then one day, Jamie left a note in Logan's sketchbook. If I told you I liked you, would you run away or stay? Logan never answered the note. Instead, he distanced himself, stopped sitting next to Jamie, avoided eye contact, told himself it was for the best. But Jamie didn't take the silence well. Back in my room, Logan stared at the floor. I didn't handle it right. I was scared, not of him, but of what saying anything would make real. Did anything else happen? I asked. He paused. One day, I found another note in my bag. Only this time, it wasn't sweet. It was angry, accused me of leading him on. I listened carefully. After that, Logan continued, the rumors started. Someone said they saw me and Jamie sneaking off during study hall. Then Eli got involved. I think he hated seeing anyone get close to me. Wait, I said slowly. You think Eli was jealous? Logan hesitated. I don't know, but he was always watching. I leaned in. Do you think Jamie and Eli are working together now? I didn't, Logan said, until Jordan called. Later that night, Logan got another DM. Same burner account, same mocking tone. What if your boyfriend knew the whole story? Attached was a screenshot, a photo Logan had never shared with anyone. He and Jamie, outside the back of the Cedar Hill Library. Jamie had his hand on Logan's arm. Logan looked startled. I turned the phone around and studied it. You look scared. I was, Logan said. Did he grab you? Not hard, just sudden. I could feel the anger rising in me. You've been carrying this alone the whole time? I didn't know how to talk about it. And then you happened, and suddenly, it felt like none of that mattered. But it does matter, I said gently, especially now. We brought the new messages to Ms. Harmon again the next day. This time, she wasn't calm. These messages cross into harassment and intimidation, she said, especially with a pattern, and now a second person involved. She asked Logan to write everything he remembered, every interaction with Jamie, with Eli, even the names of students who might have witnessed attention. While he wrote, I stepped into the hallway for air. That's when I saw the envelope, sitting in my locker. No name, no return address. I opened it slowly, my hands already trembling. Inside, a single photo. Logan, kissing me, taken from outside my bedroom window. I stared at it, nauseated. Someone had followed us, watched us, waited until we were vulnerable, and then took proof, not to cherish, to use. I rushed back into Ms. Harmon's office. Add this to the report, I said, slamming the photo down. She looked at it, and her face went pale. You're both in real danger of being stalked. That night, Logan came over again. We didn't speak much at first, just lay side by side, both of us facing the ceiling like it might offer answers. Finally, I said, "You know what scares me the most?" He turned to me, "That even with all this, I'm still more afraid of losing you than I am of whoever's out there." He exhaled long and slow, then whispered, "Me too." At 11:43 p.m., Logan's phone buzzed. Another message, this time from Jamie's real account. "Jamie, we need to talk. I didn't know Eli would take it this far. Meet me tomorrow, behind the old community center. Noon." He showed it to me without hesitation. "You going?" I asked. He nodded. "I have to." I took a deep breath. "Then I'm coming with you." We didn't talk much on the way there. The old community center sat abandoned on the edge of town, a place kids used to dare each other to sneak into back in middle school. Rusted swings creaked in the breeze out front. The paint had long peeled off the brick walls. A broken window stared at us like an open eye. Logan clutched his phone the whole way. I walked beside him, scanning every corner, every parked car nearby. Something about this place, this meeting, felt more dangerous than even the threatening messages. "I'll be right behind you," I said quietly. He nodded. "Thanks for coming. I'm not letting you face him alone." Jamie was already there, leaning against the metal railing outside the front doors. Hoodie up, hands shoved deep into his pockets. He looked thinner than in the photo, paler. His face had sharp edges now, like he hadn't eaten properly in weeks. When he saw us, his eyes flicked to mine, then quickly away. "You came," he said to Logan, voice low and tight. "You didn't give me much of a choice." Jamie flinched, but didn't deny it. Then he looked at me again. "You're the boyfriend." I nodded. "And the one who's not going anywhere." Jamie chuckled bitterly. "Figures." The air felt heavy with tension. Logan finally broke the silence. "You said you didn't know Eli would take it this far." Jamie nodded. "I didn't. He told me he just wanted to remind you of who you really were. I didn't think he'd follow you or threaten you. But you still helped him." I cut in. Jamie's jaw clenched. "I thought I was helping me." That made Logan pause. "What?" Jamie looked up, eyes rimmed red. "Do you have any idea what it felt like? Watching you disappear? 1 minute we were sketching side by side, and the next, you vanished like I never mattered." "You mattered," Logan said quickly. "Not enough?" Jamie snapped. "I told you I liked you. I trusted you. And you left without even saying goodbye. I didn't choose to leave." Logan's voice cracked. "My parents pulled me out when the video started circulating. I didn't even have time to say goodbye to my art teacher, let alone you." Jamie looked stunned for a moment. Then his face crumpled. "I thought you ran from me, that I scared you off." "You didn't," Logan whispered. "I ran from the way people twisted what we had." Jamie sat on the bottom step, burying his head in his hands. "I wanted to believe I could forget you. But every time I tried, Eli reminded me. He never stopped talking about how you made people soft, how you encouraged boys to be different." Logan sat on the step beside him, keeping a cautious distance. "I never encouraged anyone to do anything they didn't already feel," he said. "I just stopped pretending I didn't feel it too." Jamie looked up slowly. "Eli said if we worked together, we could keep you from making the same mistake twice." "What mistake?" "Loving someone who can't protect himself." My fist clenched, but I kept quiet. I wanted to hear the rest. Jamie continued. "But I didn't know he had photos. Or videos. I didn't know he was watching your house. Why would you believe someone like him?" I asked, stepping forward now. "Why would you let him manipulate you again?" Jamie looked at me, and for once, there was no sarcasm or bite, just pain, because when Logan left, Eli was the only one who stayed. Logan exhaled slowly. "Jamie, you don't have to keep being loyal to someone who only fuels your anger." Jamie stared at the cracked pavement. "It's too late." "It's not," I said, "but it will be if you don't speak up now." Jamie looked between us, between Logan's guarded compassion and my cautious defiance. And then, finally, he nodded. "I'll testify. I'll give Ms. Harmon everything, even what I know about the Cedar Hill stuff." But what?" Logan asked, I need one thing first. What? Jamie's eyes flicked to mine, then back to Logan. I need to hear that you forgave me, even if you don't mean it. The silence that followed was brutal, but Logan didn't hesitate long. I forgive you, he said quietly. Jamie's shoulders collapsed with the weight of it. I won't forget, Logan added, but I forgive you. Jamie nodded, then stood, wiping his face. He pulled something from his pocket, a flash drive. He held out to Logan. Everything Eli sent me. Screenshots, audio, even the photo of the two of you in your room. Logan took it. Jamie backed away slowly, hoodie slipping off his head. I'll email Ms. Harmon tonight, he said. And after that, I'm done with all of it. He walked off without another word. We stood in silence for a while after he left. Do you believe him? I asked. Logan nodded. Yeah, I think, for the first time, he's telling the truth. That night, we sat in my room with Logan's laptop open, flash drive plugged in. The files were all there. Photos, screenshots, audio clips, even one video of Eli speaking, his voice clear and unfiltered. If Logan wants to be brave, then let's make him brave in front of the whole damn school. Let's see how long his pride lasts after that. We both looked at each other. This is more than harassment, I said. It's planned, strategic, cruel. We take it to Ms. Harmon tomorrow. And then Logan looked at me, his eyes shining with something deeper than just fear. Then we end this, for good. But the next morning, before we could even get to school, Logan got a new message. No text, just a photo. His parents, standing in their driveway, taken from across the street. The photo changed everything. Logan's parents, standing in front of their house, unaware, smiling. A perfectly normal morning, except someone had been watching them from across the street, hidden, threatening. Logan didn't say anything for a while after seeing it. Just stared at the screen like if he looked long enough, maybe it would dissolve into pixels. Maybe it wouldn't be real. But it was. And I watched the fear return to his face. Sharp, sudden, suffocating. They know where I live, he said finally, his voice hollow. They're watching my parents. It wasn't about rumors anymore, or whispers. It wasn't about shame or jealousy or teen gossip. This was stalking, psychological warfare. A final warning from Eli, meant to push Logan back into silence. But it had the opposite effect. Something in Logan snapped. I'm done being scared, he said, standing suddenly. Wait, Logan. I'm done. I'm not running again. We went straight to Ms. Harmon. By the time we arrived, she was already holding a copy of the flash drive Jamie had emailed overnight. I've been going through this all morning, she said. There's enough here to take to the school board and the police. Logan sat down across from her. We got a photo this morning of my parents from across the street. Ms. Harmon's face went still. She took her glasses off slowly. Did you save it? Logan handed her his phone. She looked at it, then at us. You understand what this means, right? Yes, Logan said quietly. It means this isn't just school drama anymore. It's dangerous. Ms. Harmon stood. I'm taking this to the principal and calling your parents. Both of you will stay here until we figure out next steps. We're treating this as a high-level threat now. While we waited, Logan turned to me. I keep thinking about that night, he said suddenly. What night? The night I kissed you. The first time. In my room. Before everything. I remembered it clearly. Soft music. Dim light. His hands trembling slightly as they found mine. You weren't scared then, I said. I was terrified, he laughed softly. But I finally felt like I had something worth protecting. You still do. I whispered. He looked at me. Promise me something? Anything. Don't let me disappear again. No matter what happens next. Even if this goes to the police. Even if it gets messy. Don't let me become a name people whisper about and forget. I leaned in. I won't. And I meant it. We met with the principal and a district liaison later that morning. Logan's parents were called in. So were mine. The adults looked shaken, more serious than ever. This crosses state harassment laws, the district rep said. We'll need a formal statement from Logan, and we'll also need to preserve every digital message, image, and video. We'll take it from here, but you've both done the right thing. But Logan wasn't done. I want to go public, he said. All the adults froze. Excuse me, his mother asked gently. I want to tell everyone, not just the school, not just our counselor, everyone. His dad leaned forward. That might make things worse. I don't care, Logan said. I won't be silenced by someone like Eli ever again. And so he did. That night, we filmed a second video. This time, it wasn't quiet or cautious. It was direct. Logan sat in front of the camera and stared into it like it owed him honesty. I'm not going to pretend I'm okay with what's happened. I'm not. Someone stalked me. Someone blackmailed me. Someone sent me photos of my own family. But I'm not hiding anymore. He paused and added, to anyone else going through this, if you're scared, if you're trapped, there are people who will listen. Start with one person. That's all it takes. One truth. I followed. They tried to turn our love into a weapon, but we're not breaking. We're not ashamed. We uploaded it with the title, You Tried to Ruin Us. This is our answer. And we went to sleep knowing it would explode. By morning, it had. The video reached hundreds within hours. Students reposted. Teachers shared quietly. Parents sent around to group chats. Even old classmates from Cedar Hill began commenting. I remember Logan. He didn't deserve what happened. This happened to me too. Thank you for saying something. You're not alone. But then a new message came in from an account we didn't recognize. You think this is over? He's not the only one with secrets. Attached was an audio file. We listened to it together. It was me, talking to my brother last month. I remembered the conversation. Vaguely, I had said something like, if anyone finds out, I'm done for, referring to Logan and me. It had been a moment of fear, not shame, but now it was being used against me. How did they get this? I whispered. Logan looked just as horrified. They're tapping into your life now, too. We were being cornered, both of us. No longer just rumors and photos, but recordings, surveillance, fear. Later that day, while walking to class, someone shoved a folded note into Logan's locker. We opened it together. 4 words, typed and centered. The storm hasn't hit. And under it, a photo of me and Logan, taken that morning, inside the school. We took it straight to the principal. And this time, no one hesitated. Police were called. Lockers were searched. Devices were confiscated. And 1 hour later, a name was announced over the intercom. Eli Morgan. Please report to the office immediately. The hallway froze. Students glanced at one another. Even teachers looked up from their desks. This was it. Logan turned to me as we stood outside Ms. Harmon's office. You ready for whatever comes next? He asked. I looked at him, really looked at him. The bruises in his voice, the fear beneath the calm, the fire in his eyes. I've been ready since the first time you kissed me, I said. He smiled. And even though everything was spinning, that smile grounded me. Whatever storm was coming, we were facing it together. When Eli's name echoed through the intercom, time stopped. I watched Logan's expression shift. Tension tightening in his jaw, his fists clenched just enough that I could see his nails pressing into his palms. This wasn't just school drama anymore. This wasn't about rumors or stolen photos. This was about taking back control. The halls buzzed with whispers. Did you hear? They found a flash drive in his locker. Something about tracking people, like actually spying. Some kids tried to act surprised. Others just looked away, like they knew it was coming, and didn't want to admit they'd stayed silent. But what got to me was the relief. Quiet nods from people who'd been afraid to speak. Side glances that turned into brief smiles. We weren't the only ones Eli had cornered. 2 officers arrived that afternoon, not in riot gear. No drama. But the moment they escorted Eli out of class, hand behind his back, a ziplock of digital devices tucked under one officer's arm, the silence said everything. He didn't fight it, didn't yell, didn't even look shocked. just smug, like this was only a pause, not an ending. We were called into the office shortly after. Principal Carter, Ms. Harmon, a district lawyer, Logan's parents, mine. Even the police stayed in the room. This isn't just school discipline, Ms. Harmon began. This has escalated into full criminal investigation territory. They showed us what they found. Hidden files on Eli's laptop, screenshots of private DMs, audio clips, even a hacked microphone app installed on several devices in the school, including one Logan had borrowed from a media lab, messages between Eli and Jamie, some data before Logan even transferred, surveillance images taken from bushes near Logan's house, some as recent as 2 days ago. My blood ran cold. But Logan? He didn't flinch. He was past fear now, past shame. He was fire. Then came the part one hadn't expected. One of the officers turned to Logan. "We need you to know." Eli wasn't acting alone. My breath caught. "What?" Logan asked, voice tight. The officer nodded. Someone else gave him access to tools, helped gather footage, maybe even coached him. "Who?" Logan demanded. The room fell silent, until Ms. Harmon said quietly, "A staff member." It felt like the air had been punched out of the room. Logan leaned forward. "Who?" But they wouldn't say yet. Still under investigation. They explained, "We need confirmation. But this goes deeper than just a jealous classmate. A teacher? An aide? Someone trusted?" I reached for Logan's hand under the table. He squeezed it tight, but not desperate. He didn't cry, didn't panic, just whispered. I should have known. It wasn't just him. They asked Logan to prepare a formal statement for the authorities. He agreed on one condition. "I want to read it in front of the school." They hesitated. "There's a process for these things," someone said gently. But Logan didn't waver. "I've been made into a story by everyone except me. I'm ending it in my voice." 2 days later, it happened. The auditorium was packed. Students, staff, parents, even local media. Some came out of curiosity, others out of quiet guilt, and some, I think, just needed to know someone survived what they were still hiding. Logan stood at the mic. No music, no slides, just him. He looked around, breathing deeply. Then he began. "My name is Logan. I came here hoping for a fresh start. Instead, someone brought my past with them, twisted it, used it, tried to turn my identity into something shameful. They stalked me, took pictures, recorded my voice, watched my family." Gasps rippled across the room. I know that's hard to hear. It's hard to say. But I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you because someone out there is watching this right now, afraid that if they tell the truth, they'll be hurt too. He looked at me, then back at the audience. I almost disappeared because of someone else's hate. But I didn't, and neither will you. Silence, then applause. It started slow, scattered, but it grew, strong, rising, like thunder rolling through the walls. Not pity, respect. That night, we lay on my roof under a patchy sky. "You were incredible," I told him. He chuckled. My hands were shaking the whole time. I couldn't tell. He looked over at me. "Do you think this is really over?" I thought about it. "No, but I think the worst is behind us." He nodded, then turned back to the stars. "Then I'm ready for whatever comes next." But there was one thing left unanswered. Who helped Eli? We got the answer 2 days later. Another staff member, someone we both knew well, Mr. Carter, the assistant AV tech. Always quiet, helpful, ran the cameras for morning announcements. He had installed the surveillance software. When questioned, he confessed, said he was just trying to help Eli get back at someone he thought was corrupting the school. He called Logan a dangerous influence. The story broke. News outlets picked it up. Parents demanded accountability. And Mr. Carter? He was arrested. Logan didn't gloat. He just said one thing. "I hope he learns what damage silence really causes." We spent the next few weeks slowly returning to normal, if there's even such a thing anymore. Students talked to Logan more openly. Teachers gave him subtle nods of respect. Even his dad, one silent about everything, hugged him tight in the kitchen and whispered, "I'm proud of you, son." One night, just before our next school break, Logan and I walked to the edge of the lake behind the park, where this had all quietly started months ago. "I didn't think we'd make it here," he said. I bumped his shoulder. "We did. Do you regret any of it?" he asked suddenly. I didn't even pause. "No, because it brought me to you." He smiled, then leaned in. We kissed, slow and sure this time. Not stolen, not scared. Ours. 3 months later, the world felt different. Not perfect, not easy, but different. The rumors had quieted. The threats had stopped. And Logan, he smiled more now. Not the cautious, closed-mouthed kind of smile I used to see. This was real, warm, secure, like he finally believed he was allowed to be happy. The school held a special assembly near the end of the semester. Not for Eli, not for the scandal. For healing. A local counselor spoke about mental health, identity, and trauma recovery. 2 other students came forward, quietly, sharing that they, too, had faced harassment because of who they loved. Something had shifted in our school. Not a revolution, but a reckoning. Logan and I spent spring afternoons sketching in the art room again. He'd been invited to show a few of his pieces in a local gallery exhibit for young artists. I watched him work sometimes, brow furrowed, pencil dancing between confidence and chaos. Every stroke was a piece of him reclaiming something he'd once been robbed of. Sometimes I sketched too. Sometimes I just watched him. Both felt like love. One night, Logan turned to me in my room. We'd been laughing about a dumb meme on his phone. Then, out of nowhere, he said, "I never told you the second thing I thought after we kissed." I looked at him, grinning. "There was a second thing?" "Yeah." He sat up a little straighter. "First, I thought I was going to throw up because I'd never done that before." Relatable, I smirked. But then, I thought, if this is love, I want it, even if it ruins me. The smile slipped from my face, replaced by something deeper, warmer. "You didn't get ruined," I said. "No," he whispered. "I got saved." That weekend, we went to the lake again, where everything had started, where we used to walk in the shadows. This time, we held hands openly. No looking over our shoulders. No hiding. Just us, unapologetically. There was a small festival set up by the water. Local crafts, soft music. Food trucks lined up along the gravel. And in the center, a pop-up booth from the local LGBTQ+ outreach center. We stopped. A volunteer smiled and handed Logan a pamphlet. He thanked them, then turned to me, eyes bright. "I want to join them," he said. "Like, as a volunteer?" He nodded. "Maybe speak. Help other kids who are still scared to come out. Still feeling alone." My chest swelled. "That's perfect," I said. "That's so you." A few days later, we received a letter in the mail, addressed to both of us. From Jamie. He'd transferred to a small school upstate, started therapy, and written a full apology. "I'll never forgive myself for the damage I caused. But I hope you keep loving each other boldly, even when it's hard, especially then." Logan read it twice, then folded it gently and put it in his sketchbook. "Closure," he said. Graduation came with sun and speeches, and a roar of applause that made everything feel final in the best way. When Logan walked across the stage, he got a standing ovation, not just for his grades, but for surviving, and for never letting hate win. After the ceremony, I found him by the auditorium steps. I had something in my hand, a small envelope. "What's this?" he asked. "Open it." He tore it open and pulled out a ticket. "Train." "New York," I said. "Summer art program." I found one that still had a few scholarships available. "You applied. You just didn't know it." His eyes widened. "You applied for me?" I grinned. "I had help from your mom." He laughed, half shocked, half teary. "You sneaky little." "You deserve the world, Logan," I said, "or at least a city full of it." He pulled me into a hug, so tight it made the last 3 months melt off my shoulders. "I'm not going without you," he whispered. "You won't have to," I said. "I applied to. Different program. Same city." He stepped back, and looked at me like he was seeing me for the first time. Are we really doing this? We're really doing this. A few weeks later, we boarded that train, suitcases in hand, hearts slightly terrified but completely full. We found our seats by the window. The train lurched forward. Outside the glass, the town grew smaller. Behind us, pain, scars, strength we hadn't known we had. Ahead of us, blank pages. And this time, we'd write the story ourselves. Epilogue. Logan eventually became a full-time artist and LGBTQ plus youth speaker. His first public gallery piece was titled Unbroken Silence. I wrote about him, about us, in essays, articles, and eventually a memoir that found more readers than I ever imagined. Sometimes we returned to the lake, just to sit in the quiet that once held so much fear. Now it just held peace. We didn't forget what we went through. We didn't pretend it didn't hurt. But we lived, we kissed, we created, and we loved, with nothing left to hide.